this is heavy.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Dude, have you looked at these?
No, not yet.
Did you look yet?
I did, yeah.
Dude,
Pete.
thanks so much for bringing the donuts,
Yeah, man.
man.
I wanted to bring
Golly.
y'all like a spicy chicken sandwich or something.
Oh my
but
gosh,
I didn't know how that
dude.
would hold up.
Well, I was
see how they
surfing
held
it.
up. They were
Dude,
fun
they
to
held
see.
up. And you got such a spread here. Is that coming through on the camera at all? Can you see that?
A little bit.
Dude,
Wee
well,
bit.
thanks, man.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
not helping my summer diet at all. but,
Everything's okay in moderation.
appreciate it.
right?
Will, thank you for taking time out of your tremendously busy schedule to come and hang out with us. This
Yes.
is really cool. I think we've been trying to schedule this podcast for like 6 months
It's
now.
been a
or something.
while, hasn't
It's
it?
been a
I
while.
feel like it's been before the holidays. Yeah.
Dude, it's just, man, people are busy and we're busy, and kind of reading up on your donut empire that you're building here. And it's what's really cool is that I didn't realize you guys had just started or opened your first brick and mortar in 2017.
Yeah.
So
2017.
so 5 years. I mean,
yeah.
Making
and-
waves,
making
baby.
waves,
Trying,
dude.
man. Yeah.
It's really, really cool. So yeah, man, Hero Doughnuts and Buns. I'm a big fan. Love your hamburgers. I think that's really cool that you guys do more than just donuts. Like, have a whole. You were talking about the chicken sandwich earlier,
Yeah.
and just all the different things you guys offer. But how did this get started, man? How did you get into being the donut guy?
Gosh, yeah. Let's see. So, I mean, honestly, my passion for donuts started as a young child. Like, my dad and I had this routine of going to get donuts late at night. We lived in South Georgia at the time. And after church, Sunday nights, I grew up, we went to church Sunday morning and Sunday night. So, twice.
Oh, I
on
know all
Sunday.
about
Sounds like-
that.
it sounds like
The old
that was
Southern
our
Baptist.
that was our Southern Baptist upbringing. Yes,
Yep.
definitely.
So this was in Albany, Georgia. After church on Sunday nights, we'd always go to the Krispy Kreme in Albany, Georgia. It was, for whatever reason, Sunday nights was the only night that they had the hot flashing sign. They did it like once a week. Now I guess you can do it every day.
I thought it was just always on.
No,
No?
I didn't know they still did
I think
it.
now it is, but I guess at least in Albany, Georgia,
Only
it
on
was just-
Sundays. Then the rest of the week you get leftovers.
Well, I know the 280 location. Shout out Krispy Kreme.
Yeah.
You can go by there and they just
Oh,
have the
geez.
conveyor belt of donuts.
Yeah, dude, they
just
get
running
you.
all
That's,
the time.
They got me all the time, all day, dude.
Classic.
So yeah, we just started that routine, my dad and I. And I'm not a huge sweets person, but donuts, bread covered in sweet glaze when they're hot and juicy.
I hear
Pretty
you.
hard to
It's hard to
pass up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably the same way. I'm not like a huge sweets person.
What is
am I
that?
hearing?
I'm sorry, that's my phone.
Oh, okay. I thought
tried to put it
I thought
away.
it was Lola.
We got a frog down here.
Well, we can hear. I got an idea.
It's gonna vibrate. I'm sorry. Oh, I think it's actually my watch. Sorry, promise. I wasn't.
Yeah, no
blowing off
worries.
Steam over here.
No worries.
Well, our dog makes weird noises, so at first I was like,
no, that dog's
maybe
dying.
that's my dog. Anyways, but yeah, man,
So yeah,
donuts. That's cool.
Yeah, it started early, but never, I never thought that I would be opening my own donut shop. So that started my passion for donuts and food. I've always been surrounded by food in my family. Nobody in my family cooks for a living, but we've always been like super passionate about, getting together and meeting around the table and cooking
Sure.
elaborate meals, and so that's always kind of been instilled in me.
When
as a kid.
what was your first job? Did you get start working at McDonald's or something?
First job was actually, I read meters for Georgia Power.
Okay, so you weren't like doing food right out of
No. So my dad worked for Georgia Power, and it was awful. I mean, it wasn't an awful job.
I was about to say, you don't want to be a lineman?
dude, it was hot.
Oh,
it was
man.
so hot.
Yeah.
And I did it all like in Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, and dude, there was some sketchy, like, thank God we don't read meters anymore, because I'm sure that was just, people did that for a living. It was just insane. It was brutal. I did it with a guy, so I was never by myself, but we would go up to these houses, and people would have chained, like like vicious dogs
Yeah.
by their meters, so you wouldn't read them.
So you wouldn't read them.
And so they outfitted us with pepper spray to spray the dogs.
Okay.
So we had some pretty
Dude.
insane moments.
That's
a couple
crazy.
wild summers doing that.
Man.
And so you decided, yeah, maybe this isn't the long-term career path.
Yeah, I love Georgia Power. I'm thankful for it, but I don't know if I'm going to do the lineman thing. So
Well, I was kind of reading through your website, and it has a really cool page with a bio about you and kind of the beginnings of the company. And I think you attended Sanford University, if I'm not mistaken.
That's how I ended up in Birmingham.
Okay, cool. So you weren't born in Birmingham, born in Georgia.
Born in Georgia, Georgia
Okay.
boy. Yeah.
So the college is what brought you, because that was my next question.
Yeah.
What brought you here?
Yeah,
to Birmingham?
Sanford. So, I was I've always been a procrastinator, still am. Trying to get better at it every day.
Yeah.
Or better at not being that. Yeah, so I followed a friend. I had, last minute had no idea where I was going to go after I graduated from high school, and knew I wanted to do something different than going to like a big university. And one of my best friends told me to check out Sanford. So he had like a golf scholarship. I was like, all right, I'll check it out.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I fell in love with Sanford. Was great. I mean, it was cool. It's got its own thing, but I think I definitely fell in love with the city. It was different. I mean, it's 2 hours from Atlanta, and I'd never been here before. So I was like, what the hell? How have I never been to Birmingham?
What year was that?
01.
Okay.
So it was. That's what kind of drew me to moving here and going to school and trying to maybe plant some roots here.
Well, I've visited Atlanta many times, but to me, Atlanta is just a little too big, a little too overwhelming. I don't know.
Hey, I'm with you. Like
it's a jungle,
It's where I'm from, but I would never. And we have a store there, and they're killing it. But I would never want to move back there. The traffic is insane,
horrendous. I guess all big cities
and
are like
I-22. Oh my God. That road is like they're forever working on it, and
kind of like I-20. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, man, what was your degree at Sanford? Because the last podcast that we did with our good buddy Taylor Trammell, he's a Sanford alum as well, and so I know they're known for their pharmacy school, because I think it's only one of two in the state.
Yeah.
But I don't think of many people coming out of there for like maybe
donuts.
culinary or donuts. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, was there anything specific about their program, or do you just kind of?
No, I just kind of ended. Again, like going back to the procrastination thing, I had no.
I got to do something.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I got to go to college. My parents were like, you got to go to college. At that time, I was really passionate about music, and I played drums since I was like 14. So like that's all I cared about. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna like play in any band that I can find, and try to just do that, and then I'll figure out my major. Finally, I had to declare a major, and I declared, and I was kind of like teetering on the edge of like being into food and stuff, and I decided to do nutrition and dietetics, which is the closest thing to food over there.
I was about to say, what's the
nutrition.
Yeah, so it's actually a part of the education department, and they do have cooking classes and stuff, but it's more clinical focused.
So if you want to be a home ec teacher at high school,
Or registered dietitian and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So,
Dietitian, donuts.
Donuts, dietitian, and also I was also pre-dental.
Okay.
So random.
I guess that ties together.
It does, but it's funny now. I'm
like
like encouraging
tooth
maybe,
decay and
obesity,
Yeah.
and then the other. So
Hey, welcome to Birmingham, baby.
yeah, dude, yeah.
Well, the path to hell is paved with good intentions, and so
Yeah, there you go.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm kidding, man. These donuts look amazing.
Thanks, man.
Well, dude, you mentioned you were a jump. Would you have played in any bands I would have heard of or known about?
Let's see.
Did you have aspirations of making like
I did, dude. Oh yeah, I thought I was going to
music career, be a rock star?
I'm not going to even finish college. I'm going to join a band.
Go on tour.
Yeah. And so I joined a rock band, led by a guy named Matthew Mayfield. It was called Moses Mayfield.
Okay.
And it was cool. Like they had already had like kind of formed the band, and they had a drummer, and then he wanted to kind of part ways, and I knew Matthew through some mutual friends, and they needed a drummer. So I literally went up to, they were doing like showcases in New York City and stuff, and I flew into New York. They flew me. And we did
Oh.
auditions in front of all these like suit and tie people. It's a pretty wild story. And then they
That is wild,
signed to Epic Records.
So this is like a major. This isn't just like a garage band. This is like
It wasn't a
real
garage
deal,
band,
dude.
no.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was cool, man. We got to, we didn't really do anything other than we toured with some bands, and I think they dropped us like we toured maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Did you guys record a record?
We did.
Okay.
Up in like North Brookfield, Massachusetts, at Longview Studios. Like we stayed at this like residential place. It was like a barn converted into a studio.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they had like an old lady that cooked breakfast and lunch for us, and it was pretty insane.
That's
And
cool.
then we toured, and then they shelved our record and dropped us. And then,
You're like, okay, well,
so I was like, all right.
guess I better finish college.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
But
that's
it was fun, man. Yeah. We got to travel a lot, see a lot of cool stuff, and always,
Moses, man.
donuts were always one of those things traveling that I was like, all right, that's like, I was always the first one up in the van, scouting out the cities, and my first thing would be like, all right, I'm gonna find the next or the closest local donut shop or coffee shop.
I could see you just being in to know about all the local cool eateries, like especially being on the road and like visiting new places. Did you guys just tour in the U.S. or?
We did mainly in the U.S. and then in Canada a little bit.
Okay.
So,
But
yeah.
getting to explore the culinary
Yeah,
world out there,
Yeah.
apart from just what you see in your hometown. That's cool. I think that would be just one of the coolest perks of like being in a touring band or doing anything where you're getting to travel the
Just
country.
get to experience
just
all
to
the other-
experience all the
dude.
culture,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
New England versus the West Coast versus like the Pacific Northwest versus like the middle of the country that just gets ignored.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's rad. At what point did you start toying with the idea? Let's fast forward a little bit.
Yeah.
So you decide to come back. Are you still pursuing music? I guess. Once a
No.
musician, always a musician.
Yeah,
at least to some
no,
degree.
I mean, no, I definitely got to answer your question. I got to that point where I was like, all right, I got to like figure out if I'm going to still try to like, pay the bills being a drummer, or figure out another path. And I just started seeing like the sustainability of like trying to manage like being a drummer, which
Yeah.
is not
It's not easy, man.
Not easy.
Not easy. I got
So-
a lot of friends who are musicians, and
me
they
too,
all
man.
have other side gigs and stuff too.
And they're doing it too, and,
Yeah.
and I love it. And I totally respect them. And part of me is kind of like misses it for sure, but I still play a little bit. But yeah, so that at that point, I was like, all right, we got to do something different. So food, I didn't want to go back to school, so food was kind of like my other passion. So I just kind of like dove head first, man, and like just started like trying to get jobs everywhere. I mean, I worked at let's see, Dream Cakes, OG Dream Cakes over in Homewood. They used to be behind the Summit. I worked for them for a while, and then moved with them over in Homewood. Did that for a while. Then worked at the original Saul's Barbecue for
Okay.
a year. Yeah, shout out to Saul.
Shout out to
Shout out
Saws,
Saws.
man.
That's a staple.
It is, dude. It is. And that's funny. Like, I worked beside Saws for like 3 or 4 years, and kind of got to know Mike Wilson, RIP.
I know, man.
Man.
Dude, I would have loved
Huge
to
loss.
get to talk to him. Man, that would have been
Yeah.
so cool.
He was awesome, dude. So yeah, he just started kind of like, we would kind of like geek out over like, I remember the Momofuku David Chang cookbook had just I think maybe it was like 6 months old. So it was like super new, and he'd gotten it, and he was like inviting me over, and we'd like cook all this like David Chang Momofuku food.
Yeah.
Man, that's cool.
Like before he opened Saws or after hours, and we just like geek out and eat. We made like kimchi, white barbecue sauce, pork sandwich.
Oh, so y'all were
sandwiches,
tight,
and-
dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was fun,
Yeah.
man. So that I was like, all right, this is awesome. So I'd done cakes for a while, then went to barbecue, and I was there for about a year, and then jumped around
Yeah.
some other places.
At what point, reading on the history of Hero, it sounded
Yeah.
like you kind of started doing this at like maybe like a shared kitchen deal.
Yeah.
At what point did that come into the picture?
So that, that was actually, so my original partner, Jason Wallace, a good friend of mine, he kind of helped me get started, and he's still one of my partners.
Did you know in the beginning when you started this endeavor what avenue you were going to take?
No.
No. You're just like, I'm going to start making some kind of food.
Zero idea. I mean,
Okay.
that was like, I'm glad in the beginning, like I was like, I got to the point where I wanted to open something on my own and do something on my own because I'd been working in restaurants and I had done some consulting and helped some other people open businesses and restaurants. And again, it was kind of like that crossroads. I was like, all right, am I going to go still be a line cook and help people like maybe open up restaurants or do my own thing and try to like do something different? So
that's scary, bro.
It is super scary.
Yeah.
Especially in the restaurant industry of all things.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
It's so competitive.
It is, and it's expensive. Everything is so freaking expensive, dude.
Yeah.
Like even the tiniest restaurants are.
Well, dude, shout out
It's
to our buddies at Burrito Punks. They're I
Dude.
think they're still operating out of like a shared
killing it.
kitchen deal, and I want them to open a truck so bad
too.
or
Dude,
something, you know.
Dude, I've got some in my freezer
Dude,
right now.
yeah.
They're
We load up on the burritos.
awesome, and I love it. I love that. Like, and that's kind of how Hero started. But I love that they're still just
grinding,
dude,
you know.
love it.
It's a passion for them. You can tell.
Yep.
It's really cool.
That's what makes it good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess you have to have the fire in you to want to
do.
pursue it in the first place.
Yeah.
And like I said, the competition is fierce.
It is,
Especially
man.
in the donut world, man.
It is, and
we
it-
shouted out some other big name companies. that
dude.
are
I know,
kind of
and like
staples.
it's and I'm not ashamed.
People
to
are
say
like
I love Krispy
religious,
Kreme
dude.
and,
I'm not. Yeah, well, that's cool.
like Shipley's. I like all the big guys.
But dude, people, especially here in the South, I know the South better than anywhere else in the country. They're like religious about their donuts.
They are.
You know what I
man.
mean?
Well, I
Like,
found that like all over the country. I mean,
I guess
people are
they're-
like
okay,
it's
that's
just
fair.
it's pretty insane. People, it's like that. You have your local breakfast or coffee shop that you go to every Saturday or every day. Like people have that with their donut shops.
Yeah.
They're not budging. Like not budging.
Don't
So
mess
it's
with the
definitely a
donuts.
very intimidating world to kind of like dip your toes in, and then also like kind of a more upscale donut, I guess. I hate saying that because I never wanted Hero to be an upscale donut. At the end of the day, I just wanted Hero to be like a good ass donut.
Okay.
Like
fair enough.
it ends up being bougie. Did I just say that? Fancy donut.
I mean, there's
got
no
the
other word for it.
bougie
I think
donut.
that's the first time I've ever said that word.
Well, glad you said it here. It's
You heard it here
etched into
first,
history.
folks.
Yeah. But yeah, when you started the kitchen, you said you had a business partner that was kind of helping you get going.
So yeah, we did it in his photography studio, like right off 2nd Avenue North.
Okay.
And I mean, like, so he had cameras and stuff set up, and that's where he did his day job. And we literally had a giant donut fryer and then a big red mixer, which one of those is in the Homewood location right now.
I saw a picture of that. Some video
Big
you were
red
like,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was some video you were doing. You were like getting in everybody's face, all your
okay.
staff and stuff. And I think I saw that mixer, and I was like, "Is that like an old Cadillac parked in the back?" It's like this giant piece of machinery.
Dude, it's
you know
so
what I mean?
cool. Yeah, it's funny. We got that on eBay, I think.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the original one that you had?
It is still there, and we got another one from the same restaurant company, like up north somewhere, to match to match the other one we had in Homewood. And we were so busy, like we couldn't just do it with one mixer, so we needed 2 mixers.
Can we pull that up? I'm interested.
Yeah, I was about to
see.
say.
What are
Cool,
we
man.
talking about here?
The next tab is the official Heroes
It's an old.
IG. I don't know if you have a photo of that somewhere.
It may be in there. It may be on the website somewhere, but you might can scroll through and see a red.
Yeah, it might be something.
Sorry,
I could
Katie.
pull
Sorry.
up and edit in after the fact.
Yeah, my bad.
Well, to anybody listening, I will find a photo of that and I will put it up. I try not to have her just like hunt forever.
Okay, so what is it? Because I'm in the.
It's just a big mixer, like a standing floor mixer. Like you've seen one at
Like on the countertop.
They have one very
Yeah.
visible at Post Office Pies, actually, in Avondale. Like
Okay.
in the glass window, it's like a big silver one. It's like a KitchenAid one, but it's like
Yo,
from the
giant.
floor up
like
here.
a cauldron.
Yeah, it's huge. So that's what we use to make our glazes and doughs with when I started, and then at the Homewood location. And now we're like gradually like kind of upgrading equipment, so we're getting some different style mixers. But
Okay.
those are the OG ones, and they're still there. And they kick ass. Like you
Dude,
can't
we can
beat.
nerd out on some kitchen equipment.
Dude, I can nerd out all day on some.
Well, let's take it back. Before you had the
Yeah.
brick and mortar and everything, you're in the photography studio.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I got to cook something. I guess you were like, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, what are you
I'm
trying?
gonna go get a deep
What are you
fryer.
like,
I mean,
hello?
So I had some recipes that I'd been working on in my house, and I basically had gone through anywhere from like 40 or 50 different recipes just to kind of get like my bearings straight. Like, all right, I'm gonna try this type of bread, this type of bread dough, this type of bread dough, because I definitely wanted a yeasted style donut. I love cake donuts.
so
but-
at least at this point, you're on the donut path.
On the donut path.
You're like,
Yeah,
I want to do
making-
pastries of some kind.
Yeah.
Beef jerky and corn dogs.
I was about to say, dude, there's such a vast array. It's
Because
like,
I had nothing else.
Seafood, beef jerky.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
yeah, it was all goes back to that, like those childhood memories of like, that's literally everything on the menu. Pretty much, Hero is like stuff that I like
Nostalgic.
that makes me happy. Like when
Yeah.
I think about it, like I go back in time and I'm like, all right, those donuts I had with my dad. On
Well, I
Sunday
saw
nights.
the
And,
Fruity
Man,
Pebbles
that's
on
awesome.
there.
It is.
Yeah,
That's
so
my
this is
cereal growing
cereal
up.
mornings.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
okay,
That's
awesome,
it.
dude.
Love some Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, so just tested out recipes and then like started frying them up, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like I
Start throwing dough in the fryer.
throwing dough, cutting donuts. Like we didn't have donut cutters. We had like this multi-ring set, so I would cut all the outer rings and then go back and cut the donut holes out, which is just
So what do you do with all them holes? What are you doing with all
turn
them?
them
Just
into
remix it.
our holes. We
Oh.
call
Oh,
it,
you do.
that's our
Okay.
sidekicks.
Okay,
Yeah,
sidekicks. I'm down. Okay.
So-
I was wondering, like, what happens to all the holes of the donuts?
yeah,
I mean, yeah, you can buy donut holes, I guess.
yeah.
But that's a cool name, the Sidekicks thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But dude, I wouldn't even like if you gave me all the equipment in the world and said make me a donut. I would just like I
You would
wouldn't
make
know
a funnel
what
cake
to do.
over there.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
Squirt
it-
it.
I mean, I know there's flour. Is there flour involved? Maybe
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
not.
dude, it's
okay.
I say it's simple, but the amount of ingredients is pretty simple. It's just
Pretty
flour. We have a specific flour that we use, whole eggs that we crack. When we actually have.
Do I need to be writing this down? Secret
No,
recipe.
well,
We
I
should
can tell you
bring
the
you
amounts.
in and then like just
We've joked about that so many
test
times.
you on try to make your own donuts just from scratch with no.
We interview a lot of people that I have no idea what we're like what goes into what they do.
Yeah.
And it's been a running joke where he's like, "Hey, let's throw Alex in the mix and see what he can create."
Yeah.
We've interviewed bartenders and stuff. I couldn't make you a Manhattan. I couldn't make you a
Yeah,
mixed
like if you
drink.
tell Alex,
you
like,
know,
like, hey,
I'm
make
not a very skilled person.
make me a Long Johnson. And it's like, what the hell is that? You're like, I don't know, figure it out. And then how close can he get to the real thing?
So we'll put you in the list. Of
Yeah, I love
like,
that.
I'll try to
Make
make a donut.
donuts.
I'll try to recreate. I think there's probably a YouTube channel for that already.
You can do it. Just Google
just
it.
recreate
Yeah.
Just Google it. You Google everything.
How
Yeah.
to basic. That's how
How to
it's
basic.
done. That's it.
All right, so you start frying donuts and you start kind of creating
Yeah.
your own personalized recipe and kind of looking through. It said that the dough that you guys use in the store, it's like a 2-day process to make
Whoa.
this dough.
It's like a 2 to 3 day process.
2 to 3 day process.
Yeah.
Now, is this the same dough that you're using not only to make donuts but the buns and the other
Yeah.
items? It's all coming from the same
Yeah, that's Heroes.
blob of
Hero is
ingredients.
literally based on that one brioche style dough that we used to make.
Okay, cool.
Everything pretty much. And it all starts from the donuts. So we do.
So when you started doing the donuts, I guess at first you were like, "I'm just going to do donuts."
well,
But then you saw maybe I was like, "Dude, I got all this dough left
yeah,
over. Like, what else am
exactly.
I going to do?"
Well,
What else
that's
can I
it.
cook?
Yeah, and also too, I was like, man, we gotta have like, how can we make money and survive and keep the doors open just selling like donuts that we're
Yeah.
gonna have to charge like $2 or $3 for? We gotta have something else.
Because then you're bringing in the lunch crowd. You're bringing in like,
Yep.
and I mean, it looks like you guys do breakfast. I mean, you guys
We do, man. I mean,
y'all
it's
do
like,
it all, man.
It's breakfast and lunch. Yeah.
That's cool.
So yeah, the dough. I mean, it's all about the dough, man. We make the dough, cut the donuts from it. We use those scraps to make fritters, and then our buns. They go, which is where the name Hero Donuts and Buns comes from.
Yeah,
So
makes sense.
some people were
So
like,
is that basket of glazed goodness, is that what you said, fritters?
"Yes, apple fritters." So that's my favorite, dude.
Look at that.
Other than like a classic vanilla glaze ring, I think. So it's between my favorites are the OG vanilla glaze, apple fritters, and damn, I don't know,
Buddy, that looks
maybe
dangerous.
Boston cream.
Dude,
That
it does
looks
look
so
dangerous. What's in this
dangerous.
box? When I opened it a minute ago, I could just like smell it, dude. Oh man, we need smell-o-vision.
Smell of it.
Yeah.
So when did you guys? At what point did you decide? Okay, I've got a product here. I've tested my donuts. I'm feeding them to my photography guy.
Yeah.
Maybe you start to outgrow the studio to some degree, but at some point you got to start testing them on the general public.
Yeah.
What did you start? What happened next? What was the next step?
So beyond just feeding them to my partner and friend Jason, and then some other friends, we would just bring random people in like off the street and off of Second Avenue.
Second
North.
Avenue,
Yeah,
okay.
whatever that cross street is. I think that's what is that? It's close to Kerrigan's.
Now, was Hero official business at this point?
No, not at all.
Okay, you're just kind of experimenting.
No, it's super. Yeah, under the radar. So yeah,
The donuts. The donut.
Will's
The
Donuts.
donut. Yeah,
Will's Donuts. There you go.
we had no name, and so we were like, all right, we're gonna do a pop up. We're gonna plan a pop up, and I think it was like months out. I can't remember exactly like what the gap was when we decided to do a pop up and when we actually had it, but we planned our first pop up, and I was like, all right, here we go. Shit's getting real. Gotta like dial it, and that was even like the recipe. I was still kind of like working on it and having weird issues with it and stuff. And
So
I had
what did
one
that first?
recipe? I had like a vanilla glazed donut. That was all I had.
But what did that first pop up look like? You're just like, hey man, donut shop.
It was actually at Seasick Records.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
sweet. All right.
Yeah, it was really cool,
Okay.
man. So I reached out to Dan, and this is when they were over in the Crestwood Shopping Center. So
I don't remember the crust. Well, yeah. That's after the little
after the little
shop.
yeah, they had a little
okay.
tiny one
next to the Dop
then-
shop.
Yeah. And then they had Crestwood over by Thank You Books, and then
Okay,
Now,
so
they're
then
at-
C6 bringing the foot traffic in.
Yeah, dude.
And then you're like out there slinging donuts.
So
Yeah.
C6, you're telling me C6 doing donuts, records, and haircuts,
yeah.
all in the same.
All under
it was
one
pretty
roof.
crazy. So
Yeah.
we did it before.
You need a special license to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, like honestly, how legal it was, but
Get the dogs involved. Pets
Yeah.
are welcome. Yeah.
it was cool, man. I mean, we did some good social media push with it, and I had no idea like that it was going to be this big, and we had like a line like just to the end of the building. It was crazy.
Wow, really?
I think I only had I probably brought like 300 or 400 donuts, which is a lot, but
Yeah, that is a lot.
and we sold out in 45 minutes.
Whoa,
It was
dude.
crazy.
Just plain
No,
glazed,
so
no.
between the time that we decided to do the pop up and when we had it, I'd come up with
Came up with some other.
I think we had like 7 or 8 flavors. No, we did 12, so everybody could get. If you wanted one of each, you could do
You could do a dozen.
do a dozen.
Hey, thinking. There you
Yeah,
go.
buddy.
Well, dude, what was I guess it was a positive response line down the street.
It
You know,
was,
that's
man.
cool.
It was super
So-
cool, man. I was like, we were going 90 miles an hour. Like, we pulled up with our trailer and rolled the donuts out, and the people were already lined up, and I started freaking out. I was like, oh my God.
So is it just
like-
you and your business partner at this point?
Yeah, and a couple friends of mine helped us.
Just kind of volunteered to
Yeah.
help you guys
Yeah.
out. So
Yeah.
that was kind of the birth of Hero Donuts.
That was
official,
it, man.
I
Yeah,
guess.
that was kind of like when we
on something.
we entered.
Now, was that in
World.
2017 too, or was that pre?
No, that was that was probably 15.
Because I know there was
Ish.
some time before you guys opened your official.
Yeah, we
first
did the
storefront.
pop up thing for a while. Like we did some wholesale with some local restaurants, and then we started doing Pepper Place Market consistently, like every Saturday,
Yeah.
for almost 2 years.
Now is this under Hero? The
Under
name?
Hero, yeah.
So y'all
At that
get
point, and when we did the pop up at Seasick, we were Hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we kind of
Okay.
partnered with some friends of ours at a branding firm, and they kind of helped us do the original logo, and we were kind of official.
Okay, I'm
So-
curious. How did Hero come about?
Yeah,
Hero.
where did they?
Yeah.
Well, so my dad is my hero in
Oh, okay.
Yellowstone. From
Oh,
our little,
okay.
Man, it's
That's awesome, dude.
cute. But also, funny enough, like when we were trying to figure out what to call it, me and Jason had a long list of names. Like we were trying to figure out what to call it.
Yeah, what was Was
You
there any
spitball us, yeah.
Oh,
close contenders of what Hero could be? Or
we
you don't
were
want
gonna
to
call it Empire Donuts, but I was like, that's probably been done.
Empire.
Empire Donuts, and that just sounded too like we're just.
We don't
really
want to be
coming out of
the,
gate
we don't want to
like
be the
that.
elitist donut,
Yeah.
but you just said that earlier. We don't want to be like a fancy donut, but Empires have like
Yeah.
yeah.
So we were like, nah, we're not doing that. We had like some Birmingham-ish names, like not
Vulcan Donuts,
something like
please.
that.
Magic City
yeah.
Dough, baby.
Magic City Dough.
Magic City Dough.
Yeah.
Dude, I had this
Do that.
idea. You know when the cookie dough craze went off?
Oh, my
and,
God,
And we
yeah.
have, shout out to the
Mhm.
Magic City. What is it called? Cookie dough.
Yeah, that stuff is trouble.
Magic
man.
City
Having
Dough, baby.
What's it
I don't
called,
know.
Katie? Cookie dough magic.
Cookie dough magic.
Okay, that's clever. That's
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
But anyways, right before they opened, I saw some video talking about the cookie dough place in New York and how the line down the street every single day I think it's just called dough.
Yeah.
And I pitched him the name. I'm like, dude, let's start a cookie dough place and we'll call it Dough Bros.
Just Dough Bros.
yeah, the
And I
Dough
thought that
Bros.
was such a sick
Dude,
name.
I forgot
was
all
like-
about that.
I was like,
What
Dough
happened to
Bros.
that idea?
I don't know.
We morphed it into a
literally
podcast.
month later.
That's what
Literally a
happened.
month later, Cookie Dough Magic opened, and I was like, we're too late.
Too late.
You know,
There's
so.
a bagel place in, I think it's in New York somewhere, maybe Chicago actually. But anyway, they're called Yeasty Boys
Yeasty
Oh,
Boys.
that's
because
cool.
they
Dang,
use
that is good.
yeast, which I'm like, damn, dude, that's perfect.
Think
Yeah,
of all
that is
these
a good
clever
name.
names.
Yeah.
It's tough coming up with names. Much tougher to actually execute on your plan to actually create this company, though. So, you said you did the Pepper Place Market for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And I guess that
That was kind of like our bread and butter, dude. Like
people started knowing, like, dude, you got to get there early. I'm sure you guys would sell out. Like,
we
'cause
did.
those
We sold out, and then we had long lines and Domestique Coffee. They actually, we'd already started partnering with them, and they would actually, because I didn't have any way to brew coffee. I just
Yeah.
had a way to fry
Yeah, how did
donuts.
that come about? Shout out to Nathan and Michael.
Yeah, dude.
We love those
Love
guys.
those dudes. We actually met. It's funny enough. Our path is kind of like we followed each other. Like me and Michael met originally when he worked at what was it, Urban Standard downtown.
Okay.
And then we kind of stayed connected, and then we ended up being a part of helping open Woodlawn Cycle Cafe. Do y'all remember that?
Yeah. Oh man, we were
Okay.
huge fans of
Yeah,
Cycle
dude.
Cafe.
We loved it.
yeah.
So
I
we
can't
were-
believe it's.
I know.
That was a drag.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really cool
I
place.
miss it. But we were there, we helped open it.
Really?
And
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
so I
That's
did all
cool.
the food there in the menu, the original menu. And then we got super close through all of that. And that's kind of when I was doing
On the
Heroes,
cusp.
the
Oh,
side hustle,
okay,
while I
okay.
was doing Cycle Cafe. And then it got to the point where I couldn't do them, the two of them. So
Side question: should I be referring to you as Chef Drake, Chef Will?
definitely not.
Is that?
You may
I don't
see
know if
it
that's
written
like.
on the website.
Hello,
but it's
Chef.
not.
I was like, I think he's like a legit. I think chefs all want to be called chef. Like, that's how you address
my
them.
friends and partners. They call me chef. Kind of.
No, he'd have
Yes,
it.
chef.
He'd have it on his T-shirt.
Yeah, got the tall hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need the white jacket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so at what point you guys are doing the Pepper Place thing? It's growing momentum.
Mm-hmm.
What was the next step after that?
Yeah. So again, it was like, all right, how long are we gonna do the pop up thing? And I was just paying myself, just like
But that was your full time thing. Were
That
you
was it,
working any
dude.
other restaurant
I stopped,
during that?
yeah.
Well, it just got busy enough where like I need to devote
it was
100% of my time to this.
I got
Man, that's a good feeling though.
it's just we had to be there at like 2-3 in the morning to like literally make the dough and
Yeah.
make the donuts and just crank it out. So
Are you
it's
still
like-
doing this in the studio, or are you doing it in a shared kitchen, or where are you actually preparing?
in the back of his trailer,
In the
man.
back of your trailer.
No. So we were actually legit now. Like we had health inspections. We were in a commissary kitchen. So
Okay.
We had some friends of ours that had a production kitchen where they made like pre-made meals for like gyms
Commissary
and
kitchen,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what the Burrito Punks dudes are doing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah. I
commissary.
think they're over there in Avondale. They got a good deal, good spot over there. But similar situation. So we go in. But the cool thing about ours is we had our own equipment in there and we could leave it. And we were the only ones in our kitchen when we were there. So the
Okay.
other business did their stuff like during normal operating hours. And
You didn't find like chicken wings in your fryer and stuff after,
No, but it's
dude,
funny.
come
it
on.
was upstairs overlooking Innisfree.
Okay.
over in Lakeview.
Yeah.
So we would we'd get in at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and there would just be people just going crazy, still out
man.
partying in Innisfree.
Man.
So that was kind of weird to see that. Like, oh man, they're
They're raging,
raging, and here we
Yeah.
are just waking up, going to work.
firing up some fryers.
Yeah,
Man, that's such a get there that early to create the dough and stuff.
It's early,
Man,
dude.
That's crazy.
it is. So yeah, the 3-day process, like we make the dough on one day, and then the second day we have to let it rest. It's really all about resting. That's why it takes so long. You can't rush it. So we make the dough, we cut it on day 2 after it's already rested and fermented and whatever. Done its
Aerated.
magic. Yeah, dude.
Does it
Just
rise?
gotten
Does it have to rise?
awesome. Yeah, it rises. It's a
Katie,
slow rise.
scroll up. If you scroll, we're on the website here. If you scroll up one, I think there was. Keep going. There it is. You got a giant,
Just,
like
dude, it's
medicine
like,
ball size of dough.
I
right
mean,
here.
that's a fourth of a batch So that's probably, wait, hold on. No. That's a whole batch out of the spiral mixer at Homewood. So that's 55 pounds-ish.
That's a good workout right there.
Yeah,
Doing that every day.
Dude, it's physical, man.
Woo!
I mean, you get your core, you're like punching donuts out.
Well, when
and
you
then
walked
folding,
in, I mean,
and
I was like, all right, he hits the
You
gym.
get- you get-
He hits the kitchen.
The dough.
I
Yeah.
hit the kitchen, yeah.
So you mix it on day 1. Day 2, it has to rest, and then you.
And we cut it on day 2, yeah.
Okay.
And then at the end of day 2, they've already been cut for the donuts that we're going to actually like pull out in the morning on day 3 and proof, and then fry them and glaze them and sell them to the public. So they got to be
Okay.
proofed, and you know
What is proofing?
proofing like activates the yeast in the dough. So there's you have different leavening agents when you bake. You have chemical versions like baking soda, baking powder.
Yeah.
We use yeast.
Okay.
And then that's that's kind of what makes it like in the donut world you call it a raised donut, which is what Krispy Kreme is.
I was about to say.
But there are cake donuts there, and we do cake donuts also, which use
Okay, but
like baking soda.
Yeah, but you wouldn't classify like what we have in this box here as a cake donut.
No, those I don't think I put a cake in there, did I?
I don't
But
know.
they're
Did you?
no, they're all yeast. So
Okay.
all brioche. That's bread pudding though. We'll talk. We got to talk about that one. That one's
But that's
good.
cool, man, because I've had donuts from different places, but I don't have the jargon to clearly, identify like what. I just know what I like.
Yeah.
And dude, I can smell this every time.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a waft of sugar. Oh man. Anyways, but yeah, so this is a yeast style donut.
Yeast style donut. So yeah, when we proof it, we like another reason we put it in the walk-in cooler overnight is to like slow down the process of the yeast. So if you heat it up, it starts like eating the sugars and starches, and it
Does
literally
it ferment and
It does.
get alcohol content out of the
Well,
donuts?
if you overproof it or leave it in the walk-in too long, yeah, it'll start. You can smell it. It's like overly.
Oh, okay.
yeasty.
That's probably not a pleasant smell, or maybe
No,
it is.
it's
That's
not
why we
awful,
have
but
donut
it's-
beer, brother.
beer
It is.
beer donuts, is that a thing?
Oh,
People doing that?
totes.
Beer flavored donut. I see it
yeah.
all over the place.
Is there
We've done
anyone else in town doing a yeast style donut, or?
I don't know. Other than like
But you said Krispy Kreme.
the
is a
bigger
yeast style
companies like Krispy Kreme, Shipley's.
donut. But your donut doesn't look like a Krispy Kreme donut. See, to me, the naked eye, it looks a lot more full. Like
It is.
It
so
looks like
it's all about the proof and the rise and
yeah, because their donuts, they're like.
they're
Not hating on Krispy Kreme, but they're like skinny little donuts.
They
These
are.
are like healthy, plump looking donuts.
Hefty donuts.
Hefty donuts, man.
We want them to be hefty. It's
So-
funny. So when I first started doing the pop-ups, they were almost 3 times the size. of
Oh,
what they are
really?
now. We've
Just giant donuts.
we've shrunk them down.
Scaled it down a little bit. Well, you
Yeah.
couldn't get them all in a box.
You couldn't, dude. You
You
couldn't.
had to have like some oversized.
we had to
pizza
get
box.
a custom box.
You gotta
and
put them
like,
on a stick.
and then it was like
Serve 'em that way.
$45 for a dozen. I'm like, dude, this is not gonna work. So we're like, all right, let's look at doing like a normal size donut. Same
Okay.
recipe, same approach, and then we ended up selling more dozens. And
Fine tuning it though.
Yeah.
Fine-tune it.
yeah,
So I'm sure there's a lot of things that you learned, and that being one of them.
100%.
Fine tuning the
Yeah.
size of the donut. I believe the Homewood location was the first brick and mortar
yeah,
location that you guys
that's
opened.
the first one.
So at what point did you guys decide to pull the trigger on that?
I'll
And Homewood of all places, that's not cheap real estate, dude.
It's not. Well, so we got to the point where we wanted to do a brick and mortar, and we were looking and just kept on like striking out.
Back up. When
Yeah.
you guys are doing the Pepper Place thing, are you serving other things besides donuts at this point? Did you guys start serving?
Just coffee and like hot coffee and cold brew.
Okay,
that's-
so
yeah.
you got
We didn't do any like.
so the burgers and the
nah.
chicken sandwiches and all that stuff. That's later.
That came
That's
later.
Okay,
Yeah, when
all
we
right.
had the store.
Okay, so anyways, going on
you're
to the
good.
Homewood thing.
Yeah. So we looked at a couple spots that it ended up not working out. And we were just like, man, there's nothing. Where are we gonna do Hero? And I just drove past that location in Homewood. It used to be Homewood Instruments. He
Is that
moved
right there
to-
on the corner.
It's on the corner by Nabil. So he has his old like.
It's not the one across from the park. Is
Yeah.
It? Oh, that's it. Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
what
that's
that
right
is.
there on the corner. Yeah.
I always, ever since you guys moved into the one across from Railroad Park, that's kind of our location. Obviously, we just don't go
cool.
Homewood much. But man, I remember that spot because the skate park was there.
The skate park was there.
And
Yeah.
man, spent a lot of my youth there,
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
skating and stuff. And I remember that instrument shop very vividly. That's
Yeah,
a
it
cool
was-
spot, man.
Dude, it's such a cool spot. A lot of cool history there, in that whole building. Actually, I think the original the landlord was telling us that the original Heavenly Donut. Wait, not sorry, that's Heavenly Donuts. Wrong company.
A lot of donut companies out there.
Hamburger Heaven
Hamburger Heaven.
Whoa.
was there. I think he said it was called Heaven. It was just Heaven.
It's just heaven.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then it became a music shop.
Then a music shop.
And then,
maybe
you
something
guys-
else, and then the music shop.
There's probably been 10 things.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, I drove past it, and there was like a sign on the window that there was like an
For
area
lease.
that we had moved or were moving for lease. So I called Jason. I was like, dude, we need to check this out. I was like, it's probably going to be expensive, but we need to at least look into it. And it actually wasn't too crazy. Like, that was before things got really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also a super old building and needs a lot of work.
I was about to
It
say,
needed a lot of work.
when you guys are doing a business such as this or any restaurant, when you're looking for a place to move, it's not like you're just selling like, hard goods or clothing or something like that, where
Right.
it's just like any space where I can set up shop.
Yeah.
Like you got to have a place where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we need a functioning kitchen.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that in
gotta
the
make
back of your mind?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day,
Music shop? Yeah, man, I'll throw some fryers in there. We could do this. Yeah,
you could
dude.
turn any building into a restaurant, honestly.
Okay,
I mean, there's definitely, obviously, more added expenses if the plumbing is horrible. And
Well, you said it was an old building.
It's very old, and we need it. But, the landlord did a lot of work to, to help us get to the
Okay.
point to
Well,
where
that's
we kind of
cool.
had like a white box or whatever. But, yeah, it's funny. Like, looking at it when we walked in, when it was still, like, the music shop that he had just moved out of, like, just trying to, like, yeah, I don't know.
Just
It's such a, like,
envisioning, yeah.
badass spot, but, like, how is this going to work? And
Dude, that's prime spot, dude. People out like, I would imagine people in the mornings, just like walking their dog or
yeah, dude,
getting the morning fix. It's like, dude, I would be licking my chops. Like, this is the spot.
It's
We gotta
kind
come
of
here.
become that spot for a lot of people over there, like, just, their routine, like, especially on the weekends.
Yeah.
Weekends, obviously Saturday and Sundays for most businesses are their busiest, but for us, for sure,
Definitely.
like, it's like insane over there. So
So that was a good investment.
it was
Now, was
scary
it-
at first, but you never know until you do it. So
Was it a ton of work to get the building up to snuff? You said your landlord worked with you and
It
and was
was.
able to help you out.
But we had I had my business partners that me and Jason had partnered with that were already in the restaurant business. So like that's like I had no business trying to like manage like
Yeah.
the construction and all the legalities and all the hoops you have to go through to like open a restaurant because
Yeah.
I'd never done it before by myself. So we got to the point where we were like, all right, we need a partner to help us do this. So partnered with my partner Nick and Paul, and they 100% they're built for that and allowed
said
me
that-
to like do the food part of it and train and
Right,
the stuff.
You're like,
that-
you just do what you're good
like, I'm
at.
gonna stay in my lane.
Yeah.
You can stay in your lane.
Yeah, and I think that's the
Um,
partnerships that seem to work best.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, I'm good at this, but I'm not good at this. Help me out with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. How long did that? It was a huge success. I guess you guys are still in that spot.
We are, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. At what point did you start thinking, all right, maybe I could open up a second location?
Well, we expanded that one first before we opened the second location. So it was just in that music store shop spot, which was like, God, I don't even know how many square. It's probably like maybe
It was small.
1,000 square feet ish.
Yeah.
And then we were just, we had like probably a table this size, and then two tops. And
People could come in, sit down, have
and
donut.
there's like no room though. It was basically like just people 90% of the time just like lined up and
Grab and go.
Yeah. So we
Well, that works
really-
pretty well for like a donut shop. I
It
would
does
assume.
for
Yeah.
sure, but we had expanded the menu, with the sandwiches, and then I added a couple more things just to kind of round it out. And just seeing that there was it was still heavy on the to-go business, which is awesome. But like, what would he look like if we had like an actual like kind of a restaurant setting? So
Yeah.
still fast casual, but like more seats. So I reached out to the owner of Nabil's. He had mentioned kind of like he wanted to downsize because that building's huge. There's like a
Yeah,
1,000
forgive
different
me.
levels at Nabil's.
Is that on the?
Goes on and
if you're
on.
looking at the storefront on the corner, is that on the left side or is that up the street?
It's on the right.
On the right side.
Yes, on the right side. Yeah.
Like if the park's to my back.
Yep.
Okay.
It's on
Okay.
the right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was on the corner. He had a little market right on the corner. and we basically acquired that spot. He moved his market up top and kind of condensed his footprint, and so we literally just busted through the wall and put in a bunch more seats and had a new main entrance on the corner, like even more prime spot. So
Yeah.
it was cool.
I can imagine that just taking off. Like, oh, heck yeah, we got this cool restaurant.
And more seats. Now people
More
can like
seats
stay a
and-
while and have a place to sit.
So when you're in the
So-
back, like tossing your medicine ball of dough, are you just like constantly thinking of like new things you can add to the menu, or
Dude,
new,
always.
It's like,
My
what else can I do with this dough here?
brain never stops.
If I ran this through a spaghetti maker,
Yeah.
you know,
It's fun, man. Like, I'm at a point now where I can kind of do more of the like, recipe development,
creative,
like
the
full
fun
on.
stuff.
I've always
Yeah.
done it, but it's always been on top of like the 8,000 other things that I have to do.
Yeah.
But now I can just literally kind of focus on that, like training and, trying new equipment. And like we flew up to New York and tried this donut cutting machine,
Whoa.
which didn't work, but
Oh, really?
But it was cool. It was in New Jersey, and yeah, it's awesome. It's like this big conveyor belt. I mean, everything is still the same. Like we make our own dough and stuff, and then we flew it up there. And
Yeah, there's a cool video, Katie. If you go back to his Instagram or the Hero Instagram, go back to the main page. And for anybody listening, we do have a YouTube channel. You can see all the things that we were talking about. If you scroll back up, scroll. There was a video. Keep going. No.
is it cutting?
It was the one. It was like some video that your friend made, or maybe a buddy of yours made, where you're like doing the dough and you're cutting the dough.
Ooh,
It was really cool. It was
Yeah.
a really cool edit. I'm gonna try to find that. It was really neat.
Oh, that's it.
Oh.
Up right there in the middle.
Right there in the middle. Yes, this is
That's
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Click on that. I don't know if it has sound or anything, but yeah, dude, this is just a cool little video kind of showing you like you're rolling the dough
Yeah,
and then
I
you're
mean,
flipping the dough.
Yep.
But it looks like a lot of the stuff is still done by hand.
It
you
is,
know?
man. I mean, everything we do pretty much, we joke, like the only thing we don't do is like make our own ketchup. Like,
Okay.
I mean, we make our own pickles and
Yeah.
So this piston-looking thing that you're using to cut the donuts, what is that?
the thing in my hand.
Yeah.
So it's essentially, it's like something you would use to cut biscuits out with.
Okay.
But
I didn't know if that was like your own design.
It
or
is our
something.
own design, actually.
Really?
So we
Okay,
have
cool.
a local blacksmith that makes them for us.
So you had an idea. You're like, I want this.
Yeah, we had
turned
I
into
had
a machine.
specific size. I didn't want, because you have the standard sizes that are out there to buy that are already like mass produced. They were too big, and the ones that were small were like too small. So
Now,
trying
is
to
that
find perfect size.
Is that what helps make it so thick?
The thickness comes from two things. I mean, how we still roll the dough out kind of thin, but it's so elastic, and there's all that. We use fresh yeast, and the resting and stuff. It just puffs up. So if you like do a cross section of our donut, it's not just like solid dough. It's like you should see a lot of air pockets and stuff in it.
Okay.
So it should be kind of light for what it looks like. So
Right.
when we're training people, like when you pick up the donut, it should feel light.
I'm
for
sure at
its
this
size.
point you can feel like a donut that doesn't make the cut versus donuts.
Oh,
Like,
dude.
this is right. Like,
Totally.
you don't even look at it. You're like, no, donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one. Well, cool, dude. Well,
Yeah, man.
I'm sure. What was that first year like at the Homewood location?
Dude, it was crazy. It was like 6, sometimes 7 days a week, 15 plus hour days.
I know the restaurant business can be very unforgiving.
Yeah, and I knew that, like, I was just like, I knew that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I knew that we had to, like, just get through that first year and go through all our crap and good crap, bad crap, and turnover and training and just trying to
just
also
find the right team.
develop the menu. I mean, dude, I still developed our dough process after we'd opened Homewood, or changed
Still
it.
fine tuning
it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, after we expanded into Nabil's, it's probably a year after that we opened up the next 2 stores
Okay.
in the middle of the pandemic.
In the middle of the pandemic, perfect time to open up and expand
Yeah.
your business.
Oh, buddy, it was wild.
So where were those 2 locations that you expanded
So the one at Railroad Park was one of them.
to? Okay. Which was formerly, remind me the name of the place that was there
Mile End
before.
Deli.
Mile End
Yeah,
Deli.
which was awesome.
Which it was. I think it was only like the only one in the Southeast for sure.
Yeah, I think it's based out of the original one was in New York
Yeah.
somewhere.
But it was a really cool place.
It
But
was
rad spot, man. Right
Yeah,
there.
it's a cool
Again,
spot.
a corner spot
across
right from the park. Yeah.
It's been a good spot, man. Even, it was scary at first. And
I can imagine the rent probably not being super cheap there.
It's not. But my partners actually, they were a part of Milan Deli, so it was
okay, cool.
kind of a easy flip.
All right, so advice to anybody that's trying to start a restaurant: get good business partners.
Dude,
That's what I'm common theme I'm hearing here.
Or know your lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, that seems to be a huge success. Anytime we go to Railroad Park, lines out the door, tons of people there sitting, eating, hanging out. Really cool spot. That's the spot that we go to.
Cool, man.
Well, thanks. So yeah, we dig it. It's a cool vibe, man. We like it. At what point did you decide? Because I know you do have a store back in Georgia.
We do, yeah, man.
So at what point? When did that come along? Where you're like, I need to go back.
Wait, hold on. What
back
was
to my
this?
roots?
What was the? I missed the other location. You opened the one in Birmingham, and you
then
opened the one in
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay.
So we opened those, and then they were probably like maybe 4 or 5 months apart.
Wow.
That's got to be heavy, man. Stressful.
It wasn't planned that way. I mean, the pandemic just. I hate to refer to the pandemic.
It's had such an impact on all our lives. Yeah, man.
But it really, we did not plan on having it that close to the two openings that close to each other. So, but we were like, all right, we got to open these stores because rent's gonna start kicking in, and so we did Birmingham, and then I stayed in Atlanta, and then also too the hiring was just insane. No one was working anymore.
Dude. Yeah.
So
I
was
imagine.
I'm not scared to work at all, but we had people, the idea of hiring people to open that store, and we had maybe 4 out of the 15 or 18 that we probably normally have on a roster to open a store.
4 people.
So yeah, maybe 6.
Maybe 6.
I think 1 or 2 of those dropped off.
And this is in the Atlanta location.
Yeah, so I'm working the line.
Dude.
My partner's doing expo. We got my buddy Caleb working the bakery, and he's also we're just doing 1,000 things. So it was dude, it was crazy.
Now, did you always know after you got your first store open in Homewood that you would go back to Georgia?
Yeah.
And open a location?
I wanted to. That was always it's my home, and it was cool to open that store right beside the old the Braves Stadium that I grew up going to.
Okay, cool. That was my next question.
Yeah.
Is where is it located?
Yeah,
I haven't been to that location.
It's in Summerhill, which is it's right downtown by the kind of close to the Capitol, and literally you could throw a donut from our front door to the stadium, which is now Georgia State's football stadium.
Okay.
But used to be the old Turner Field. So,
Man.
But it's cool, man. Cool
We'll
little
be
area.
taking a trip to
y'all
Atlanta
need to do it,
Sunday,
man.
so maybe we could swing by and check it out.
Dude, pop in, man.
That'd be cool. But yeah, I can imagine doing all that during the middle of the pandemic, opening multiple stores and being so. I mean, it's not like you can just dash down the street, to your other location. Joe didn't show up today. He's sick. We need somebody to help, toss the dough or do whatever. Man, I tip my hat to you.
Thanks, dude. I mean, thankfully we had, at least for the stores in Birmingham, Railroad Park needed help. At least, we had Homewood.
Right.
So we could, do some, crossover there. But Atlanta was, was on its own. So.
Well, how's the store doing now?
Dude,
nowadays?
Great. All of them are doing great.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys have expanded. I think you guys have, tell me if I'm wrong, 5 locations total that are open.
4 are open.
4 that are open, and a 5th one's coming.
That's in Trussville, right?
We got 4 more opening this year.
You got 4 more opening this year?
Hold on. Is it a franchise? It's all still...
It's not franchise.
It's all
it's
still
all
you.
privately owned. Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome.
So it's me and my
That
partner.
is
Wow, dude.
It's pretty crazy.
Dude.
But... it's not all me. I mean, couldn't do it without my partners.
Yeah,
and my employees,
team,
and
and shout out to all the employees.
100%.
They're all awesome.
They honestly do it better than me. They make donuts better than me. So, which is all what I've ever always wanted.
You come in and show up the boss. You're like, check this out, Will. What's up? Donut is perfect.
It's cool to see that. It's all right, yeah, that's my recipe, that's my process. But just to see someone owning it and just killing it and making it look better than I could have ever imagined it looking. So yeah,
Man,
it's really
that's
neat.
Awesome.
super cool.
Dude, talk about exponential growth. That's crazy. I thought the Trustful thing, that was like big news. Like, oh man, 5 stores. And shout out to Trustful. They're doing something over what's in the water over there, because they is popping off.
It
man.
is, yeah.
They got a new mayor or something? Something happened.
Something's
happened.
going on.
Dude, something got greenlit that has not, they were fighting back against, but that whole area.
Y'all right next to Rodney's new spot coming up.
Yeah, so we're gonna it'll be us and Rodney's on the same property. Yeah.
I saw his building. Shout out Rodney.
Yeah, dude.
Are y'all next to his spot in South Carolina too?
We're not. No, it's
You're just following Rodney around.
Well, they're
You have your own Netflix special.
we're all under the
coming
same
on.
restaurant group, so
Yeah, okay.
we're all family pretty much.
Oh, really? That's not a joke. That's real.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
it's not a
that's
joke.
awesome.
Yeah. So that's
Okay,
honestly
cool.
kind of like how we kind of got our foot in the door in Charleston.
Yeah, Charleston is such a cool city, dude. It's so like the
awesome.
history there, and
Yeah.
and being on the water and that whole vibe. We spent a weekend there with some friends of ours, and they were like convinced they were going to move there. They're like, "This is it. We're moving."
I still think
we're
about
moving
it
to Charleston.
sometimes. I'm like, I wouldn't be too sad about.
Dude, it's
living down there.
really neat, really cool, and it's not too far. If you had family in Alabama, you know,
It's not too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
I did that drive a lot in a short amount of time, so it gets old.
I'm sure it does.
But if you just like a vacation trip or just a one-off trip, it's not that bad.
So being under the same umbrella with a brand like Rodney Scott's Barbecue, shout out to them, really awesome. Not quite Saul's though, but it is good. It's really good. Same style of barbecue, kind of the vinegar based barbecue sauce. That must have its perks. You know, that's probably pretty cool. It seems like you're surrounded by really intelligent, smart people that really know what to do.
It's super awesome. Yeah, I mean, we're never alone. I mean, we always got someone there to help us out and encourage us and just to learn stuff. And, everyone's always like willing to like help out. Like new restaurant openings, you'll see people from other restaurants coming in, checking on Hero or vice versa.
Do you have anybody that's maybe looking at starting a new restaurant that comes to you for advice or anything like that, seeks you out?
I've had some people, yeah.
Because you mentioned earlier you kind of did some consulting and stuff when you kind of first started out, helping other people get off the ground. Is there any advice, and maybe that's a whole nother podcast, of if you had to name like one of the major, if you could go back and change anything.
If we were going to start Dough Bros.
If we were going to start Dough Bros,
Okay.
is there like a major pitfall that you would tell us to avoid, or any quick advice that you could give?
Gosh. Well, honestly, I would test the market out as much as you can.
Because I know that
before you go out into the wild.
I hear I hear some crazy statistic, and I'm just quoting off the top of my head, like 9 out of every 10 restaurants fail or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty brutal out there.
Yeah.
So you really got to know what you're doing.
Yeah. Just do your research. If I would have done it the way I wanted to do it in the beginning, I probably would have failed miserably because I just wanted to just guns a-blazing, open a freaking restaurant.
I think that's what everybody wants.
And just figure it out. But then, my friends and partners were like, all right, dude, sit back.
Rein it back.
Let's do pop-ups because I was over just trying to figure out what to do, and I just wanted to go and open a store. But, thankfully we did the pop-up thing for a while so we could test the market and then also build a fan base, which is huge.
Yeah.
That we got to do that, instead of just opening up and then having no one know who the heck you are.
Yeah.
Well, I think the fan following is definitely there. From the time of the Homewood location in 2017 to today. I mean, that's 5 short years, and you guys are. Can you let the cat out of the bag on any of the new locations or any of that stuff? What do you guys have planned for the future?
So Trustville's one of them. We talked about that. Let's see what's after that. I got to get them in order here. Atlanta number 2. And it's kind of in the down south of Atlanta. It's still in Atlanta, obviously, but it's in like Fayette County, Peachtree City area.
Okay. I saw that peach tattoo. I guess that's
my
homage to your
Georgia ties.
Yeah, sure.
And then we're going to come back to Birmingham and open Hoover.
Well, Hoover's a huge market, man. A lot of restaurants go to Hoover.
Yeah.
Sometimes I kind of
out there.
throw some flack towards Hoover, but they got a big population.
I really
of
don't
people.
go out there that often.
I don't either,
I'm
dude.
about to.
I mean, I guess you're about to.
Same with Trustville. I mean, I love Trustville, but it's I haven't even
its
been
own
like thing. And I don't.
I haven't even been to like the new Ferris location.
Oh, it's cool.
Where all that is. My parents
beautiful.
last weekend went to a Skinner cover band.
Tribute
Oh, really?
band.
Yeah, and they were
Ooh.
like, "This is the raddest thing ever." They got all the food places right up their alley.
That's Birmingham, baby.
And they could
that's
just carry
awesome.
their chairs and set it out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So I gotta go, man. I gotta go check it out and see what's going on.
Yeah, well, I'll let y'all know when we have our little friends and family.
So
Come out to it.
yeah, dude, that'd
Yeah,
be
dude.
awesome.
Oh, sure.
So is that all the locations?
Okay, so Trussville, Atlanta, number 2, Hoover, and then Nashville, number 1.
Nashville.
Nashville.
Okay,
Entering the
branching into Tennessee.
Yeah, doing the Nashville thing.
There you go. Well, where would you be? Any restaurateur worth his. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but yeah, I can imagine Nashville being the next big stop for
It's a
a
big
growing
yeah.
empire like you guys have.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, Nashville's gonna be awesome. It's also, I mean, that's scary because there's so much talent there. Yeah,
Dude, the food scene there, it's
Food's-
really cool.
Yeah.
dude, it's so awesome. We went there a couple months ago and just spent like the weekend there for my birthday, and it was awesome, dude. Didn't even scratch the surface of it, but there's so many cool places there.
So do you just have like a list of like places you know, or I mean, is your team coming to you and say, "Hey, this is a really good market"? This will
No,
work
he's got a
here."
map on the wall. They're
That's what
throwing
I'm saying.
darts.
You're throwing darts.
Mine-
hero
throwing
darts.
Yeah, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here and do this.
No, we do. Like my partner's, Jason specifically, he's kind of heading up the whole like just finding real estate.
Yeah,
And
which is no easy feat. Right
it's
now, I'm
not.
sure.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's out there, but it's you gotta find it. So, and I don't have to worry about that. They're doing it. They're looking at a new site tomorrow in Atlanta. So we're just trying to grow
Man,
this
that's
thing.
awesome.
Well, it sounds like
So-
Birmingham is home for you. Where can I find you on a day-to-day basis? Where are you at? Are you bouncing between all these new locations? Are you heavily
Yeah.
involved in the opening of new stores? Or are you just like, you
Yeah.
have like a home store? where
I
you're
mean,
just like,
when I'm home in Birmingham, I spend like 2 or 3 days in Homewood, and the other half of the week, 2 or 3 days in Railroad Park. And we
Okay.
have corporate offices too, so I'll do a lot of my recipe testing there. So I'll I try to do some recipe testing in the stores, but I can't ever really get it done. So
What does a corporate office of one of these places look like?
this-
more to that,
Like
what's
a
a
private-
corporate office recipe testing facility look like?
Like a private kitchen?
I mean, it's like it's a full-on commercial kitchen on one side. It's pretty cool, man. And you walk in, on the left side, it's a commercial kitchen with the hood and like all the stuff, and like a big like communal table. And then on the right, there's like cubicles for like our accountants, and I have a little desk that I sit at and type my
So the
recipes
accountants,
and-
who are you testing the stuff on? Or you just go whip something up and you're like, "Hey, Bill, come here, come here."
Well, a lot
Try
of it's
this out."
like, like if I'm doing like a new glaze, like, we had a new glaze, Will's Pick, that we started today, and I tested that glaze recipe in the test kitchen last week or 2 weeks ago.
that just went live today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's the Dad Day
Will's
donut.
Pick.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the little gift, the
Oh, yeah. The
Father's Day burger box. That's
Yeah,
a pretty
dude.
cool idea. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about that.
If you scroll up, Katie, that's
We got, like, a
it's
ton
one
of
of the
orders
most
in already.
recent posts. When is
Should be at the
Father's Day? That's
top.
next weekend, right?
What's this weekend, bro?
Oh, okay. We need to get in on that for
Wait,
Dad.
keep
I don't have
going.
my watch. Is it this weekend?
Today is at
think
the
it's
time of this recording is the 13th.
It's
So
Sunday, I think.
yeah, this weekend. I'm sorry.
Oh, this
yeah,
week.
this
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
upcoming next
Gotcha.
weekend. This weekend.
There it is.
Yeah, the Dad's
so it's
Day.
a little DIY hero burger kit for 6 burgers.
It's all you need.
You got a
And
whole bottle of cracked sauce in there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, dude. And you get to smash the
Wait,
burger.
you said
and
you make your own pickles?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, pickles are easy, man.
You just pickle your own
Yeah,
cucumbers.
I just
I
got,
guess?
got my own recipe, so it's a hot brine that we bring up to boil with a lot of turmeric in it and garlic and mustard seeds, and just pour it over sliced cucumbers and let them sit overnight.
Man, that sounds good.
So
Well, I dig the smash burger technique that you guys do.
Thanks, man.
A lot of people like the thicker burgers. I think the smash burgers are cool.
I like smash. That's what I grew up eating. I
Yeah.
appreciate a thick burger, like the Fon burger. It's its own thing, and it's awesome. But my childhood memories of eating smash burgers, dude.
Do you watch the Burger Show? Yeah, you see that on YouTube?
Is that who?
It's a guy in his apartment, and he's all about smash burgers. And he does like the history. He's written.
Oh,
like,
I
a
haven't
book.
seen that. No.
Being a chef, especially,
I need to check
it'd
that
be
out.
right up your alley. It's called like the Burger Show.
Okay, I
And
need to
he
check that out.
interviews other famous like YouTube chefs.
Oh, cool.
And he travels a lot, but then he's also just in his home, and he'll recreate Like he's like probably the smartest person as far as American hamburgers
Really?
go. Yeah,
I need to check. What's it called?
it's called the Burger Show.
Burger Show. Okay.
I think that's what it's called. And
Maybe
it's
I can
basically
get on
some
it.
dude in New York who he fancies himself like a burger expert. And he's like got these big mutton chops, and he's like, it's cool.
That's
You know,
awesome.
it's not weird, but
I would love to check that out.
yeah, I'll shoot that to you.
I could talk burgers all day.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got such a vast knowledge of all the different things. Like when you started doing like chicken sandwiches and stuff. Like, are you the one kind of experimenting with your team? All these different, like, oh man, let's try chicken sandwiches. Add that to the menu. Let's try this, try that. You know?
I'll do, you know, like I said, I try to do some of the testing in the test kitchen, but a lot of it I also do in the restaurants. So I can literally kind of do it live with the staff and like kind of involve them a little bit. And we also get to like eat it and sample it. And
So when does
talk
an item
about it.
get a green light? When you're like, okay, I think this is worthy.
I mean, well, if I'm super happy with it. And then also,
Will loves it. Everybody else,
He's the boss.
we
He's
don't like
it's
it,
on-
but
it's
he's
on.
like hell bent on this.
I mean,
this turkey burger thing he's
I
doing.
get pretty OCD about that stuff, and I'll make it 1,000 times. And you know, I'll taste it, then I'll let my staff taste it, but my partners. So we'll let them get. You know, all 5 of us will kind of give the green light to.
How can we get on that list?
Yeah, I'll let y'all be a part of a taste.
Dude, yeah, I'd
Heavy
love to
Ulcer
come
green
have
light.
just taste test some stuff. That'd be fun.
Hell yeah, dude. We can do that.
Also, where can I get one of those rad shirts? Because that's
Yes,
really cool.
I've been eyeing that T-shirt.
This we sell them at the stores and
Okay.
online also. If we're not already sold out of these, we may
Fresh off the press.
not have these anymore, but we may. I don't know.
Okay. We'll
Check. If I can find some, I'll bring you some.
Well, anybody who took the time to listen to this podcast, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to come
Dude,
and hang out,
thank y'all
talk
for having
burgers
me,
and
man.
talk
You kidding me?
donuts, and bringing us a dozen delicious donuts that I did not need.
It's dangerous. That's a dangerous
dude,
box.
This box will be gone.
Which
within
one are you going to eat
24 hours.
first? I just want to know.
See, okay, well, while we have this
Okay.
here, you were going to talk about this donut in particular. You
Oh,
said it's
yeah.
different than the yeast donuts of the rest
It
of them.
is. So that's our bread pudding donut. So that's
Bread pudding.
If we have any donuts left over at the end of the day in the case, like if we didn't sell them all, we'll put them aside in the walk-in cooler, and then the next day we will like tear them up and we soak them in like a little like this custard mixture, like a bread pudding custard, and
Okay.
then we let them soak till they're like super soft, and we press them in these little molds and we bake them like bread pudding, and then glaze them with our OG glaze. It's good.
So does it, after 24 hours, every donut goes into the bread pudding batch?
Yeah, dude. I mean, you may get like
So it's anytime someone comes into a Hero Donuts location, they're getting a fresh donut.
yes
For sure.
Yes,
That's quality
yeah, we
control,
don't
man.
sell day old
Yeah.
stuff.
Because sometimes, man, I mean, I'm not going to shout out names, but there's some other big name donut companies in town where it's like you bite into that donut and like, I feel like this has
This been sitting here a while.
It's been
hard.
sitting on the shelf at Piggly Wiggly for like a
crunchy.
week. Yeah, it's a little hard, a little crunchy. So yeah, dude, I'm super excited about
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Any other big things happening? I mean, it sounds like you got your hands full.
I
with
mean,
all the new
just
locations
you
and
know, all the
stuff.
stores we're opening. I'm trying to think.
What do you do in your
else?
free time when you're not like
Yeah.
dreaming up food and making donuts for us to enjoy?
I try to get outside, man, and like ride my mountain bike or run. I started running last year, so
There you go.
I don't run a lot, but just a little bit.
Hey, I'm into mountain biking, man.
Dude,
Trying
we
to
should do
get,
sometime.
like, a-
I'm trying. I say that. My bike,
I'd say that too. I'm not heavy into it, but
I get into a stint where I'm doing it, and then work will get in the way, and I just won't do it for
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 months.
Well, I got thrown over the bars, so I've been taking a break.
Dude, me too.
dude, he did. I thought he like broke his collarbone or something. He got
On
worked
your
the last
mountain
time we rode.
bike? My
Yeah.
mountain bike?
Yeah.
Dude, I did too. Like 3 years ago, I actually just got my shoulder looked at. There's a massive bump that has never gone away.
Do you think you broke it?
He thinks
Or fractured it
he
or
thinks
something?
that I broke my clavicle and it just grew back a little weird. But everything moves all right.
See, that's me. I'm all
But
right.
I hit a tree. I was going down a trail, a mountain, and
Gross.
like was being stupid and jumped and overcorrected and hit a tree and just
Dude,
flew.
I missed the tree, but we were on a downhill, and there was a big root, and you kind of huck it off the root while you're coming down.
Mm-hmm.
And after I hucked it and came down, my back tire hit another root and just threw me over
just
the
endoed
bars.
him, and I was behind
Onto
him.
some
Or
rocks.
no, I was
You're
ahead of
watching
you. I heard it, And I turned around and he was just like on the ground. He was next to a big pile of rocks that they had put to like. Dude, I thought he was
Trying to
hurt.
catch your breath.
Like I thought he
Yeah.
was for real hurt. And he got up and he was like, "I'm good." And this is like
Well,
probably
because
the
there was
first time
another
I went
rider on the
mountain biking.
trail too, who was coming the
That's
opposite
always
way.
the case. Like you'll have the whole trail yourself for hours, and as soon as you wreck,
yes.
somebody else is on top of you, and you're just like it hurts
That's
your
what happened to
pride.
me.
Yes. He's like, "You all right?" I was like, "Oh yeah."
Just go, just go.
Yeah. So since then, I've been taking a break.
I
That was-
hear you, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, maybe you'll find some time
Yeah, dude.
building
I
your
will.
huge empire, Empire Donuts. It would have been a good day,
Maybe
dude.
the next one. We'll do something else with Empire.
But you said you didn't want it to be like a bougie type donut.
Yeah.
But you know, the working man's donut. But still, man, it's like a really good recipe and everything
Thanks,
you guys
dude.
do and the quality control and stuff you guys have. It's awesome. I would encourage anybody to check you guys out. And if there's anybody out there who had not heard of you guys, what's the best way to reach out or maybe see what you guys have on the menu or plan their next lunch outing?
Social media, just at Hero Donuts.
Sweet.
Look us up.
Cool.
We got everything on there.
And so right now you've got the Homewood Railroad Park, Summer Hill. Is that the Georgia location?
Yeah, that's Atlanta location, and then Charleston,
And then Charleston.
and then we'll have
And then many,
four
many more
up there.
That list is gonna get
That's
bigger.
that list is going to get so big. How many is too many? Are you ever going to get to a point where just like, okay, 50 restaurants?
Well, we have like a model, like, we hire operating partners for each market. So it's
Okay.
however many stores they can handle, which generally it's like 3 to 4 is what we're thinking. Like Molly, our operating partner for Birmingham, she'll have like 3 or 4 stores. And then when we open up more in Birmingham, we'll have another operating partner that will handle those. So it's just a matter of like, other than just hiring our employees, like finding the partners,
Team members, because
Yeah.
you said it's like it's still a private
Yeah, I mean, it's
company,
kind of like the
technically.
Chick-fil-A model, or maybe Five Guys. Like, they don't franchise. I don't think Five Guys franchises.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't
Maybe they
really
do.
understand the difference between, you say Chick-fil-A is not a franchise. I would have thought that it is a franchise.
They're
I know
not.
they have a rigorous process before you
no,
can go
yeah,
open
they're
Chick-fil-A.
privately owned. So, like Subway is franchise, so you can pay a fee, whatever it is,
Open a Subway.
and open a Subway. And they give you all the stuff that you need to open a Subway, the recipes, how to order stuff, which is, I mean, there's a lot of great companies that do that, and it works, but sometimes like that just creates more room for dilution in your brand.
Sure.
I think so. And but you know,
yeah,
whether you like Chick-fil-A or not, I feel like they've done such a good job of like just consistency and
But maybe that's because they're not a quote-unquote franchise.
Maybe.
They're doing the traditional model.
yeah. But I mean, I think there's also, on the flip side, there's franchise
There are
companies
franchises out there that do
great.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do really well. So
Well, Lola's decided to join the
Lola.
podcast, so
So
usually
it's
that's
that
about time when we need to wrap it up. Well, dude, thanks for coming to hang, man. It was
Dude.
really nice to meet you.
Yeah, same, man.
I'm
Finally-
glad we were able to make this work.
Yeah, yeah.
And hear all about what you guys have going on.
I really appreciate y'all having me on.
Dude, thanks for coming.